Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Daily Healing Journal, where I'm sharing my healing journey in real time. So, today we're going to talk about a few things that are some of the difficult things that I've had to go through, but it's helping me see new levels of life evolution, me meeting certain goals that I didn't even realize I had. So, breaking free from negative people, negative energy, negative situations. And we all consider certain negative things to be certain things individual to who we are, what our value system is. So there's all kinds of ways that this can manifest in your life. And for me, more recently, it was, in drowning situation where I was drowning in trying to help and fix and change someone, and then feeling multiple pillars in my life that were important to me completely fall down. The entire life that I thought that I had built and was building was shattered in a matter of a week. It was terrifying. It was hurtful. It still doesn't make sense. And sometimes when we try to make sense of things in the midst of chaos, sometimes chaos doesn't make sense. A lot of times chaos doesn't make sense. If you're able to remove yourself and detach from the negativity and use the chaos as fuel to better yourself, that's when you win. So you have to start by detaching from the opinions of other people. And this can be really difficult when, if you're like me, where you genuinely have good intentions, and when you hear people talking about you and saying things that are definitely not true, you know, it can be tempting to, whether it be stand up for yourself and directly call that person out, or which I'm not saying you shouldn't do, but there are ways that you can handle this. And it kind of goes back to what I was saying before, that the truth does not require your participation. Lies do. So when this happens, stand back and go, do I need to participate in this? And it can be tempting when all these people that you loved and love were played against you. It can be tempting when you're not feeling very supported. And that's why it's so important to surround yourself with good people. And if you don't have access to that yet, just be patient. Like I said in previous videos, you will. It will happen. The more you stay on track with aligning with good energy and things that make you feel good. I'm not here to say, oh, positive energy, and fill your head with things that make my head happy. Okay, this is a you journey. I'm just sharing what's worked for me, and what you should do is maybe take a little bit of it and apply it to your own life in your own way. That's what I'm suggesting here. And I've learned so much. And really, you can use these things and apply it to your specific life, even if you're not going through a healing journey. These things are so helpful. So when you're detaching from the opinions of others, just let them go do that. And, it's strange to me how sometimes these people come across like so noble yet quiet. And then behind your back, though, they're doing this. They're doing this. They're running their mouth, blah, 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 blah. This is when you really have to go within and remember that if it doesn't make you feel good, it's not for you. And I'm not here to say that it's always going to be sunshine and rainbows. What I am saying is you can choose. You can choose if you want to participate in feelings. So if it doesn't feel good, detach from it and replace it with something that makes you feel good. Something healthy, something great. Right, Truffles? You're so sweet. You're such a good girl. Here, I shouldn't move my camera. You're a good girl, though. So, you have to try to master the art of non reaction. And it's really difficult, especially when you're passionate and you want to maybe stand up for yourself. But again, you're standing up for yourself by not participating in the crap. And if you don't react, it's going to come across very strange. And I went through a phase of where I was very reactive and then I was non reactive, very reactive and non reactive. And I was all over the place because I was being abused and I was being taken advantage of. And I had been molded into this person, or I should say, maybe there was a mold around me that had been built because of another person's needs. And I'm not certain they knew what they were doing, and I don't care at this point, quite frankly. But this stems even deeper than my most recent situation. it stems into other friendships, other family members, all of this. We all have this. Try to not react. Just try. And it doesn't mean that you're not allowed to have feelings about what's going on. But just remember that when you react, it's like a boomerang effect. So it's going to come back at you. And I've talked about this before in other videos. And again, it doesn't mean that you don't have the right to react. You can. But just remember that whatever your reaction is and however you do that is going to manifest the next reality for you. So when you feel triggered, take a deep breath and ask yourself, will this matter in a year? And if you're like me, you might go down a rabbit hole of like going, yeah, it will matter in a year because this, and this. And that's fair. But you see this a lot even on social media where people are going back and forth. A lot of times it's about politics and very sensitive subjects for people that all have their different views for different reasons because we all come from different walks of life. Let people have their opinion. And sometimes you just have to hold back. And I used to insert my opinion in on a lot of things and try to stand up for people and stand up for what's right. But when it comes to especially social media, a lot of times, do you really think you're going to change that person's mind? Probably not. So if you use your reaction in a different way, it's usually more impactful. So for me, if I don't understand or agree with someone, and I say understand because a lot of times that's a bridge. That's a bridge between understanding and agreeing. And again, you're allowed to agree to disagree. But it's so powerful to just ask someone, well, why do you feel that way? And depending on the situation, someone will either tell you or they won't. And in my past, when I would do this person would just spin in circles and then turn it back around and blame me. And it's like, well, I'm giving you the opportunity right now to tell me why you feel the way you feel. Yet this person would always say, you don't care how I feel. It was a dead end road, right? Now, if that's the kind of conversation you're having with these people, even if it's on social media, get out of there. It's not worth it. It's not worth it. I have to show you Truffles. Hi, Truffles. You watching for lizards? Yeah, you're a good girl. So if these people are not mature enough or capable enough to have a conversation, just don't give it any attention. Just let it go. You can write your feelings in a journal. I've told you guys I have this journal right here. You can get it on Amazon. This is one of my paintings on the front. It's called Pure Imagination, and the journal is blank. And you can write your thoughts in it. I'll leave the link in the description below. So just remember, your growth is your superpower. When these people and situations that used to be part of your old operating system see you thriving instead of breaking, their power over you dissipates. And this makes them really uncomfortable. And the initial thing they want to do is blame. And again, I'm going to say it again. And they're going to point the finger at you. Blah, blah, blah. Me, right? That's how many fingers pointed at the person that they're blaming, and how many fingers are pointed at the person who's blaming others. One at you, three at me. So if you choose to blame, just think about that. So when you channel your pain into personal growth, it becomes a beautiful world, but in a strange way, and you just have to be patient with it. Transformation happens in the discomfort of letting go. And my biggest fears came to fruition in the last few months. Fears that I didn't think I would ever face in real life, but I have now. And as painful as this has been for me, it's teaching me how powerful I am. So when you turn your pain into a purpose, it's one of those things that doesn't mean you have to go and cry and whine about what specifically happened to you. There's a reason why I have not given the specifics of what I went through. First of all, it's just really awful. It's awful and it's painful, and it's not necessarily something I want to drag all over the internet. But what I do want to drag all over the internet is my healing from some of the most painful trauma I've ever experienced, stemming from some of the people that I've loved the most. So I'm using my energy to build something new. It is the hardest thing I've ever done, but it is opening doors for me that I would never have dreamt even a few weeks ago would be possible. You're going to start to see some of these videos in a new location. I'm going to take you guys on a little trip halfway around the world. So try something new, okay? And then what that does, like I said before, even if it's something on the menu that you wouldn't normally order. Just doing a little bit of that, a little bit at a time, is going to then open bigger opportunities. And so don't forget that what you feed your mind as soon as you wake up and as soon as you go to bed, within the first hour and the last hour of you getting awake and going to sleep, dictates your resilience. You just have to remember your path is not for everyone. And there are certain things that have gone down in my life recently that I would have loved to share with people that I love dearly. They won't speak to me. So you can't force this kind of stuff. And wondering why and trying to figure out why, when you've had to block in every way possible certain people that have played them against you, that is this terrible triangulation mess. And again, it doesn't make me feel good. And I know the truth. I know the truth. And that alone is good enough for me. And so that is so important to remember. The stronger you become, the more you'll trigger those who can no longer control you. And a lot of these people might not even realize that that's the relationship they had with you, was trying to control you. People should be free to be whoever they are. And if they're not hurting anybody, and if they're not causing violence, people should be able to do that. In my opinion, that's just my opinion. And the hard part is, even when they're not doing those things and maybe they are being rude or violent or mean, you just have to walk away from that. And if the people that are supposed to love you the most, according to what we all think, you might be very shocked when those people are not there for you. But there will be people that are. And it's really important, instead of pouting and being sad, which this is heartbreaking, what I'm going through. And if I allowed myself to dwell on how heartbreaking some of this stuff is, I would be a wreck. That's why therapy has been so important. That's why doing things that I love has been so important. That's why changing my environment has been so important. That's why remembering people that maybe I wasn't as close with anymore because I was isolated in an abusive relationship is important. Maybe new people will come into your life. Maybe you'll rekindle love, relationships, whatever that is, into your life, because you'll start to shine in a new way. And the people and the things and the situations and the manifestations that are meant for you and what you want are going to show up once you believe in yourself and you start practicing this. You can do it all up in your mind all day long, but if you don't feel it, nothing's really going to happen. You have to feel that high vibe. And I know some of this sounds a bit esoteric, but guess what? We really are more energy than we are matter. And so it's up to us to use our energy and place it in ways that benefit us. Place it in ways that change the world. I'm a nicer person now. I can feel it. I also have stronger boundaries. And I used to feel bad when I didn't have boundaries. And I used to check my behavior and ask myself if I was proud of how I was being. And a lot of times the answer was no, but I couldn't figure out why. And it was because I was dealing with such harsh situations and such a roller coaster that was not normal, that I tried to normalize. That's where I went wrong. And my life might have looked good on paper, but it was not good behind closed doors. Don't ever put up with violence. Don't ever put up with things that are going to push you down and lower your frequency. Humans are supposed to vibrate high, at higher frequencies. So remember that. Give yourself that chance. You're going to feel much better. If you don't agree with people or they don't agree with you, I know that this sounds a bit redundant in my videos, but I think we all need to keep normalizing this every single day. Move on. Just move on. Your story will be something that other people want to be a part of if it feels right with them too. So I hope that helps you guys today. We'll see you next time.